Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever in the world you are. What's up, you guys? How are you? All right, so as I promised yesterday, I was going to put up a video discussing and sharing with you how I manifested my new house in 30 days. Go over with you some of the steps that I took, the ingredients that I used, how I performed my ritual, and just a little bit about how amazing and how quickly the universe will conspire to give you what you want when things are done a certain way. Good morning. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Carissa. Hi, Shani. Thank you, guys. Happy Thursday. So I really hope this information is going to be helpful. If you're looking, and this is for a house or an apartment, please like this video so Facebook circulates it and we share the good love. Share this on your page. Invite a friend. If you know someone who's trying to find a place, invite them, because this works. It works very well, and hopefully it can work for you guys too. All right, so couple things. I'm going to save the actual ingredients of what I use for the spell towards the end of the video, because there's some things y'all gonna need to do before you actually do the candle work that will make sure that this works for you very, very quickly. All right, so, thanks for the love, y'all. Number one, well, let me give you a little bit of a backstory. So first of all, I did this ritual twice, and it worked both times. I originally did this candle spell back in October when I decided, I think I want to move. And I tell you, within about 2 weeks, I found the perfect place. Perfect as far as what I wrote on my petition, you know, down to the hardwood floors, front door, back door, a place where Luna could come. I didn't want to have to pay anything additional for having a pet. I mean, everything that I asked for in that petition, I found this really cute house, and it was perfect. It was 5 minutes away from my home studio, so it, you know, I could have walked to the studio, which I didn't want to drive very far. But when I wrote my petition, the way you word things and being specific, whoo, man, oh man, let me tell you. So in my mind, I said I was willing to be about within 5 miles of my studio, thinking to myself, I don't want to be too far, but I didn't want to be too rigid because I wanted the universe to have, you know, some flexibility to bring me what I want. Now, ideally, I wanted to be back in my old neighborhood, but I'm like, I'll be open. So like I said, I found a great place, and when I went to see it, it was perfect, except for one little thing, which to some people you'll be like, okay, Jasmine, you're really nitpicking, but this little thing was actually a big thing to me. It wasn't on the street that I wanted it to be on, okay? And the reason I say that is because, especially if you're here in Los Angeles, you know, the hood could literally be like, the hood with like the homies could literally be 1 block over from a very high end. So you could have 3 blocks of prime real estate, middle class, really nice, and then you can drive a block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks down, and you're like, the hell is this Beirut? Like, seriously. So it just so happened that this house was off of one particular main boulevard where I was kind of like, ooh, a little sketchy. Even though it was 5 minutes from where I was, and where I was very nice, I was just, you know. So I had to kind of mentally ask myself, I'm like, thanks, universe, you bring me the house I want, and I'm not really feeling the street. Now, it wasn't terrible. Totally could have worked. But it was a little like, and that nudged at me. And that nudged at me in the back of my head through the entire application process and everything. And I felt like I was settling, quite honestly. And I felt like I found this awesome place, but the truth is it wasn't in the neighborhood I wanted it to be in. So naturally, when I got the emails from the owner saying, you know, thank you so much for your interest in our property, but we decided to go with someone else, I was not surprised. And my initial reaction was a little bit of disappointment, but then a little bit of relief, because it wasn't for me. And I say that to you to say, when you're working on especially attracting a place to live, or even a car, or whatever it is, just because it comes from that spell, if there's anything that's unsettling, it wasn't for you. And, you know, I drove by the place every day, every night. I tried to envision myself being there. I tried to be okay with, I can live off of this street. And it was like, no, you can't. So I do think in a sense the spell worked because it brought me what I wanted with all the ramifications. But because of the way I wrote my petition and I was not 100% honest with myself about where I want it to be, the universe gave me exactly what I asked for. So I had to go back to the drawing board, right? So that was in October, you know, holidays come, got busy, whatnot. December 12th, I wrote out a brand new petition. And this time I put the zip code that I wanted to move in. I kind of went back through and I had to go back and say, where did I go wrong in all of this? So I realized, number one, I needed to release the worry and anxiety, which if you know, sometimes your living condition, you may be staying with someone and you're like, I really need to get my own place, or, you know, life happens and you got a 60-day notice and you really need to get another place. And that's understandable to have that worry and anxiety. Moving is stressful. I think we would all agree, whether it's by choice or not, moving is stressful. So I had to internally kind of work out the stress, because, you know, things that come along with that. So that was number one. You've got to kind of release that anxiety and shift it to the right place that is for me is coming in divine order. And that's actually an affirmation that I started repeating as I was writing my petition and kind of planning for my spell. So I didn't slap this together. I wrote my petition and I went over it a couple times over the course of about 3 days before I even prepared the candle and before I did the ritual work. I will remind you guys that a spell does not start with when you dress the candle. It starts with the minute you decide, this is what I'm going to do for this. So you're already setting your intention. Sorry, I have some notes so I can kind of stay on track. The other thing was, and this is important also, my order of operation was backwards. What I mean by that is I wrote the petition. I had already had the candle and the supplies and everything, but I wasn't vibrationally in alignment. So as much as I wanted to move, I wasn't doing anything. I hadn't purged. I hadn't cleaned out the closet. I hadn't started getting boxes. I hadn't started packing. I hadn't started doing any of that. So it was kind of like, how can you move when you're not preparing to move? So that was the next thing that I did. I started cleaning and organizing and getting rid of stuff. And this was, let's see, I started doing that the beginning of December. So like the first week of December, the 12th is when I wrote my petition. So I had already, before I did the candle work, set things in motion, you know, started telling my friends and my family I'm moving. Didn't have the place, didn't know where it was, didn't know any of that. So even if you don't have the money, even if you don't have the place, that's okay. Don't worry about that. Set the intention and start working towards that. Now, when it comes to writing your petition, and I spoke to someone on the phone the other day, and we're going over her petition, and she says, well, I just want a safe place, you know, that's close to my son's school, and I can get to work within about 15 or 20 minutes, and she had a price point of how much she wanted to pay. That's okay, but I want you to be specific. Like, do you want a 1-bedroom? Do you want 2-bedroom? Do you want tile floors, carpet, hardwood? Do you want to live in a big building? Do you want a duplex? Do you want a house? Like, what do you want? All the way down to the neighborhood that you want to be in. Because, like me, you'll manifest the place you want, not on the right street. So be very, very, very clear and be realistic also about your budget and what you can afford. Because, you know, if you want this fabulous place and it's $2,000 a month, but realistically your budget will only allow you to pay $1,600, then there's going to be a disruption energetically about that place, and it's not going to work. Or even the place that you want, it's not going to work. So be very realistic about what you can afford. Okay. If you're dealing with a time crunch and you literally have X amount of days, try to not shift that focus on, oh, I only have 30 days. Oh, I only have 20 days. Your energy is going in the wrong place. It needs to go towards, I'm going to be moved out by this day. And I literally said, I was going to be moved in my new place before my birthday, by or before my birthday. Mind you, this is back in December. So I wrote out my petition, and then I started listening to Master Gibson's The Anabacoa, the Prayer of Great Miracles, and Nisa Vijaya, and I made it a point to start learning this. Now, if you follow Master Gibson, you are familiar with this. If you don't, then I suggest that you go over to YouTube and look at Master Mitchell Gibson's videos. And I will tell you, the Anabacoa is a powerful prayer, okay? This prayer will literally create miracles in your life. It will literally remove obstacles. And I listened to it in the car, and this was something that I felt like I needed to do in order to make this process move quickly. As I was writing my petition, I had Nisa Vijaya playing in the background. That's how powerful these prayers are. It gives energy to things that you're trying to manifest. So if you're familiar with them and you don't listen to them daily, you should, and I definitely recommend you try to learn these prayers, because it will step your candle magic game up times 10. And I'm a testimony. I see everybody else putting up their testimonies. Now here's mine. So learn those prayers. But that's what I started doing daily. I would play it. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. We'll get to the altar part. The next thing that I did was I did a blockbuster candle. I lit my blockbuster candle, I think the night that I wrote my petition, because you want to make sure that you remove anything that could be blocking you. Now, I didn't feel like I was blocked. I'm pretty good at manifesting things, but energies come towards us. So you want to, and this is something you should be doing on a regular basis. You should be lighting a blockbuster candle every 3 months, just to keep your path clear. Okay, very important. Moving forward, if it's possible, you should have a space set up, an altar space set up. And the reason is there are some tangible items that I put on my altar that helped move this process along, and I'm going to go over those with you guys in a second. All right, so what did I use? I purchased myself a toy house from the dollar store. I should have kept it. I actually threw it away like a week ago, because I'm like, well, I'm all moved in now. I don't need this. I bought myself a toy house, and I put it on my altar. I put, or you could use a photo if you don't have a house, or you can't get one, you can print out a photo. But for some reason, I like physical things that I can touch. So seeing that house there really did help. So the night that I prepared my candles, I put up the house. I had put up a copy of a, what did I put on there? Oh, I put my credit report on there, and I wrote on the credit report, disregarded, because I, in my petition, said I wanted no background check, no credit check, no hassle. I basically wanted someone to give me the place for free. That's really what I wanted. It wasn't free, but it was damn near, it was pretty much given to me. Print yourself out a blank check and write on that check whatever amount it is. So whether it's a down payment on a house, maybe you need a $20,000 down payment, put that on there. If it's a move-in fee, if you need, $3,000 first and last or whatever, write whatever amount it is that you feel like or that you want to pay. Write yourself out a check either to you, or you can put on there where it says, to pay owners or whatever. You know what I mean. You get the gist. If you're looking to rent, I would print out a lease agreement, a mock lease agreement, put your name on it, fill it out when the rent's due, how much you want to pay, write on there, approved, move-in date. You can also put a date in your calendar, so on your phone, or if you have a physical calendar, like start saying, I'm going to be moved into my place by this date. That's very powerful mentally, because now you have you're projecting to the universe, okay, this needs to be done by this time. And then your petition. Oh, and a door key. So someone mailed this to me. I don't know who sent this to me. I cannot remember. If you're watching, thank you. But this little key, I put this on my altar. So you could use, you can print out a key. You can use an old key. Go buy a key somewhere, but a door key. And your option is to put it on your altar, or you can put it on your key ring. Like, this is the key to my new house. I had this on my altar. Then when the candles went out, I stuck it down in my wallet and I carried it around with me like it's the new door key to my place. So those are the tangible items that I will recommend that you put on your altar, okay? Now, as far as the candles are concerned, I used, oh, let me back up. Before I did that, I used, this is Powerful Indian House Blessing, Lucky New Orleans Van. And I was getting ready to do my spiritual bath, you know, the night of lighting my candles. So I was looking for my ingredients and everything. And originally I was going to buy the money drawing one, because I do like this one. I don't know what they put in this stuff. And of course I add my own. But something about these really do work. And I was walking down the aisle and I saw this. And what caught my eye was the picture of the house on the front. I looked at it and I'm like, well, it has a house. I want a house. I'll give it a try. Van is a hoodoo formula to remove any blockages and to attract what you want. So it's kind of a cleansing and attracting agent all in one. This is also a very good option if you don't want to have to buy, you know, like a banish oil or block busting oil and a road opener. Van serves both purposes. So you can definitely use Van oil or this in place of. What I'm trying to say is I took a bath with this and I cleaned my altar with it. Wiped down the altar. I wiped down all my candles that I used. I did that before I performed my ritual. Now, the candles that I use, this is a palm wax cinnamon candle. You don't necessarily need this one. You can use a brown candle. I've told you guys this already. I've switched over to using all palm wax candles because they work better and faster for me, but please work with what you have. I will say the brown candle cannot be substituted. So in most times I would tell you go ahead and use white. You're going to need to use brown if you want this to work. So try to find yourself one. The full video on how I prepared the brown candle is on my YouTube channel, Mystic at the Crossroads. So you will have to go back and look at that video to get the full recipe, but trust me, it's worth it. The other candles I used was a road opener. Again, that was in palm wax. And then I used the money machine candle, which these damn candles, I can't keep them in stock and it's hard to come by. Like once I see them, if they're gone, then they're gone. But a money machine candle. If you cannot find a road opener candle, you can use a candle that is, this is gold to me. It's not really yellow, it's not really orange. You could use yellow, but if you can find one this color, then I would recommend you to do so. Okay, we're halfway through this, I promise. The other thing that I did was I decided to put a picture of Ganesha on my altar. And I've worked with Ganesha off and on, but he's not necessarily the deity that I've really felt drawn to throughout the years. And for whatever reason, Ganesha came to me very strong, and he is the remover of obstacles. Now, again, you don't necessarily have to work with him, but that's what worked for me. If there's another deity that you feel drawn to petition, by all means, that's who you're supposed to work with. I also sat down at my altar before I lit my candles, and I had a very serious heart-to-heart talk with my ancestors, my grandparents who are on the other side, my spirit guides, my angels, and I really got clear, and I was like, all right, y'all, this is what I want. This is what I want it by, and this is what I'm willing to give back as a reward, because I do feel that whenever your wishes are granted, you have to, the scales of the universe have to be balanced. You have to be willing to give something in return, and that can be anything, whether it's volunteering your time, whether it's whatever it is. I actually volunteered for to assist a personal development workshop, and I took a couple days off from working to volunteer my time just to give back to the universe for helping me. I also said I will share this information with anyone if things, work out the way that I want when I want them to. I would have shared it anyway, but I wanted to make sure it worked first before I came and been like, do this. Okay, so really quickly, talk to your ancestors, spirit guides, deities, and I would suggest working with Ganesha, because that road opener, money machine, ground candle in combination with the offerings that I gave him, I can honestly say made this happen. Dressing your candles. Okay, I'm going to run through these ingredients very quickly. With your road opener candle, lemongrass and bay leaf are my two go-to herbs for road opener. So I would pick some of that up at your local store. You can use a road opener oil, or you can use the Van oil. Either one is perfectly fine. For your money machine candle, get yourself some skull cap. I say this all the time. Skull cap is a necessity in your magical box of hoodoo goodies. Skull cap is by far the best herb, I think, to help attract money to you quickly. So order some. You can get some from Earth and Herbal. I would check there first, because I like their herbs, and they give you really large quantities for what you pay elsewhere. Or you can try mountainroseherbs.com, or I want to say Frontier, but get yourself some skull cap. You're also going to need some patchouli. That can either be in the essential oil form or the herb. I like the patchouli herb personally, but feel free to use whatever you have. You will need some money drawing oil. And you can use pumpkin spice, since that's the combination, cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, allspice all together, and ginger, or you can make it yourself. And then optional, if you're kind of in a time crunch, you might want to add a St. Expedite candle. And I usually dress his candle with cinnamon oil. Again, that's optional, but it does help to speed things up. Now, the Blockbuster. For your Blockbuster candle, you're going to want to use rosemary, some chili peppers, dried sage, and again, you can use a Van oil, a road opener oil, or a Blockbuster oil, like a Banish oil or something to that effect. Alright, so now I do my candle work, and one other reason why I think people kind of struggle with things happening is you're not raising the vibration of the energy. And what I mean by that is, I sat at my altar twice a day. In the morning, I took a few minutes, did my morning meditation, sat with my candles, read my petition. I read my petition out loud twice a day. I know for a lot of people feel like it's difficult to meditate. Meditation, if you can't get quiet for 5 minutes, you're going to struggle in your candle magic, because while you're dressing your candles, instead of focusing on what you're trying to attract to yourself, in the back of your mind, you're thinking about, shit, did I pay the light bill? Oh, I got to get up early in the morning. So meditation kind of helps calm that chatter down so that you're able to focus. That's another reason why I like listening to the Usnisa Vijaya or the Anabacoa, because something about those prayers almost puts you in a trance-like state, and it helps you focus a little bit better. All right, so fast forward, December 12th, write my petition. I do my candle work. I want to say it was January, I don't remember the exact date. It was like the 14th or 15th or something like that. I just so happened to come visit someone, and this person had called me and was like, there's a house available across the street, maybe you should check it out. And I was like, I don't know. Even though I'm like, well, it is in my old neighborhood. Long story short, I called the number that was listed, and I ended up speaking to the owners of the property. And when I say this place was practically given to me, so we have a very brief, maybe 5-minute conversation, and I asked if there's a time, can we schedule a time, I'd like to come see the property. And this is what he literally says to me on the phone. He's like, we've had a lot of people interested, and we've had some people come by. I don't know what it is about you, but you sound like the exact person we've been looking for. And I'm looking at my phone like, what? You don't even know me. So fast forward, they call me. They're like, can you come tonight? We really want to meet you. Sure, why not? Mind you, they don't know, you don't know nothing about me. We ain't done no credit check. We ain't talked about money, anything. Do you have the down? Nothing. And I'm looking at the property, and I'm like, I really like this place. And they said to me, well, if you like it, it's yours. And I'm thinking to myself, what? And they're like, yeah. They were trying to give me the keys. When I say give me the keys, they were like, well, do you need a place to stay? I mean, if you want to start moving some stuff in, we can give you the keys, and, we'll work out the paperwork. Like, we'll work it out. Don't worry about it, but it's yours. And in the back of my mind, I'm kind of giggling in my head because I said, well, I did say on the position I wanted someone to damn near give me the place. Anyway, long story short, I moved in a couple weeks later, of course, the paperwork and all that, and I had to contact them. I emailed them and I said, you guys never asked me about finances, credit check, background check. They were like, oh, don't worry about that. Can you afford it? And I said, well, yeah. They're like, okay, no problem. It's yours. We'll call our attorney and, we'll send you the contract and everything. And I was like, did that just happen? Yes, that just happened. I came back. I wanted to come back and see the place a couple more times before I made my final decision. And I came 3 times and I looked at the place. Each time they were literally like, you could, we have room in the garage. You want to start bringing some stuff in? I hadn't paid anything, hadn't even filled out the application yet. Literally hadn't even filled out the application. And that's pretty much how this happened. So I officially moved in on February 20th. When all this happened so fast, I realized I wasn't even fully packed in my own place. I'm standing in my house and I'm looking at these boxes. I'm like, you gotta pack, like you gotta move. So everything happened in a very short period of time, and the place actually sat empty for about 3 weeks because I was so busy, I didn't even have time to move in. Long story short, I moved in on the 20th. Not only that, the other thing, they called me and they were like, you know what? We wanted to make things really easy for you. So we went ahead and made sure all the utilities were on, and we put them in our name, and we paid the first month for you. Who does that? I'm just saying. Like, in the normal world, nobody does that. Super sweet. They actually came by last week and brought me an orchid. And they came and they just sort of dropped by and they were like, we wanted to give you an orchid because whenever someone moves into a new place, it's a symbol of good luck. So nicest people, by far the nicest people in the world. I feel very fortunate, and I know that this is a direct result of the spiritual work that I did, the way that I did it, the way that I tried to kind of keep myself in alignment. To go back a little bit also, I've been doing a lot of inner work as well. I've been working on myself. I'm not perfect. I do try to spread love and joy, but I'm only human, and I've been really working on being more open and more loving and more giving. Even though I give a lot of my time, I've been trying to just really show up for people. If I can give somebody $1 or $2 on the street, if I have it, I do that. And I've made it a point to be very conscious of that. I've made it a point to be exceptionally kind to people, strangers, all those sort of things. So doing my inner work, I've released some people that I was just, still had some grudges towards after all these years. I've released a lot of that stuff. So I know that that helped also. But with all that being said, this recipe, it works. And it works very quickly, and I am a walking testimony of it. Oh, last thing about moving in this place. Not only that, they my first month's like move-in fee or all that, when I went to pay, they only took half of it. They're like, you know what, we'll take half and move on in. If that's not magic, I don't know what is. Now the funny thing is, when they came and brought the orchid, they were sitting here looking at my altar. I've got about 10, 12, 15 little witchy books, and I remember them looking down at them books and them tarot cards, and they kind of looked at each other, and I could tell they were trying not to make it obvious. And I know the expression on their face was kind of like, the hell did we just turn our property over to? And I thought to myself, hey, how do you think I got in here? So This is my testimony. This is my recipe. This works. It will work for you. I've shared this actual candle spell. I know the people that did just that and they've manifested places as well, but I can contest that if you definitely get yourself some of this, for sure, if you can invest in the palm wax candle, the money machine candle, get it. And start listening to those 2 prayers. You will see things in your life shift literally overnight. Literally, okay? I hope this has been helpful to you guys. That's pretty much it. That's all I got, but I wanted to get this out to you. Let me know if you have any questions. If you need help with writing your petition, go ahead and book an appointment with me. If you need help figuring out where you should live, and that's the other thing also, I got a reading. The reader got a reading. I got a reading to confirm that this place was ideal, just for my own confirmation. So especially if you're getting ready to make a big decision, like you want to move to another state or you're moving to another city and you're not sure, book a reading. Let's talk. Book a consultation. We'll kind of figure it out. I'm happy to go over your petitions with you, help you rewrite them, reword some things, anything I can do to help you guys. Anna, what's the name of the prayers? I will put a link down in the comment box with the link to YouTube with both of the prayers, so you guys can look those up if you're not familiar with them. And yeah, all right, you guys, you can schedule with me, oneritualway.com. I am on Instagram also under One Ritual Way, so be sure to follow me there because I have other videos and other recipes that I share there as well. I love you guys. I'm here to help, and I'll talk to y'all soon.